All right, let's dive into the story of a digital guardian, one that literally watches over every single query made to a database. We're talking about Oracle's Audit Vault and Database Firewall, or AVDF for short, and how it completely changed the game for data protection. You know, this quote right here just says it all. It perfectly captures that high-pressure world businesses were suddenly living in. The days of just hoping your data was secure? Yeah, those were long gone. Now you had to prove it with an ironclad record that was ready for any auditor who came knocking. And this was the billion-dollar question, wasn't it? It wasn't just about stopping breaches anymore. It was about creating an evidence trail so incredibly detailed that it could stand up to the most intense scrutiny. This challenge is really what set the stage for a whole new kind of security tool. To really get why a tool like this was so desperately needed, we got to rewind the clock a bit. Let's head back to the early 2000s, because a huge wave of new regulations was about to hit and completely change how everyone managed their data. These acronyms you see on the screen, they represent a massive shift. You've got the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, or SOX, which came out of major corporate scandals and demanded financial transparency. You've got HIPAA, protecting our super-sensitive health data. And of course, PCI DSS for locking down every credit card transaction. And look, these weren't just friendly suggestions. They were mandates with severe penalties, forcing companies to track every single digital footprint. So, right in the middle of this regulatory storm, Oracle spotted a critical need. They developed a solution that wasn't just designed to defend data, but to provide the proof of that defense. It was a really sophisticated two-part system built for this brand new reality. And here it is, Oracle Audit Vaults and Database Firewall, or AVDF. Its mission was simple, but man, was it powerful. Combine everything you need, auditing, monitoring, and protecting your databases into one single, manageable platform. So how'd it work? Well, think of it like a security team with two specialists. On one side, you have the Audit Vault. That's your meticulous bookkeeper. It creates this tamper-proof ledger of every single action taken. On the other side, you have the Database Firewall, and that's your vigilant guard at the gate, inspecting all the incoming traffic and blocking anything suspicious before it can ever do any damage. But here's the thing. This solution didn't just appear overnight, fully formed. It had to evolve. It grew up right alongside the threats and the technologies it was designed to protect, transforming from a specialized tool into something way more powerful. And this timeline just illustrates that journey perfectly. It all started in the mid-2000s, focused squarely on Oracle's own databases. But then a really crucial shift happened. Enterprises started using all kinds of databases from different vendors, right? So AVDF had to expand. It learned to protect data everywhere, SQL Server, Sybase, you name it. And if you fast forward to today, it's a cloud-native tool using machine learning to spot threats that even the best human analysts might miss. So after all this development, what was the real-world impact? How did the ability to watch every single query actually change the way businesses had to think about security and compliance? The impact was threefold. First, it finally gave companies the centralized audit trails they were so desperate for, which made auditors happy. Second, it provided a real active defense against attacks, not just a record of what happened after the damage was done. And third, this is a big one, it totally transformed Oracle's role. They weren't just a database vendor anymore. They became a critical security partner, selling a promise of compliance and trust. This created what you could call a virtuous security cycle. It all starts with unifying that data. Once you can see everything, you can effectively monitor and block threats. Once you can prove you're blocking threats, passing those audits becomes way more straightforward. And when you can consistently pass audits, you build deep, lasting trust with your customers. Each step just enables the next one. And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. All the data logs, the alerts, the reports, they were all in service of something much more fundamental. It wasn't just about collecting data. It was about building trust in a digital world that was growing more dangerous by the day. It really makes you think. In our world of generative AI and constant breach notifications, the core ideas behind AVDF, total visibility, undeniable proof, proactive control, they're more critical than ever before. It leaves us with a big question for today. What is the real price of digital trust?